morning to all. Today is Tuesday, the 21st of July, 2026. You're listening to Dixon and Vining at Talk 99.5, talk995.com. So glad that you are with us. It should be another glorious hot day across central Alabama. Here's what we're looking at. Sunny skies, 95 the high. Nice again tomorrow, but a little bit of a better rain chance. High of 96. Thursday, partly cloudy, about a 50% chance of an afternoon shower, but only 88. So we get a little drop in as far as the hot temperatures go. Good morning to you, Richard.
Hi.
Hope you are well.
I'm okay.
Glad you're here.
I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, you're glad to be here. Everything's good.
Anywhere.
Yeah,
Glad to be anywhere.
I am too. So I'm glad to be someplace that air conditioning is currently working.
Oh my
Are
gosh.
you messing with that?
Yeah, I'm
Oh,
trying
you
to
were
fix
really-
the camera.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta fix the camera. I don't know who wants the full body shot.
Andrew,
Somebody, yeah, really?
Skippy,
He's not that
Skippy,
attractive.
looking svelte.
He's not that good
Is
looking.
that
I
it?
don't think he should
No?
really do that. I think he should just go for the.
Well, we know
really-
it's not Leland because he's not in
He's,
studio.
no, he's not.
on the road.
Off there in Laramie, Wyoming, or wherever
about
the hell
that?
he is now.
Yeah.
I don't know. He's just off, running around in the wild, wild west.
Yep, having a lot of fun, interviewing some interesting people.
This is how you know he's making Leland Whaley money. He is filling that big old RV up with diesel on a daily basis. Yeah,
Don't you know that's pricey.
I can't afford that.
No, I
have
looked at
no
gas.
idea.
The gas station I have to pass in the morning near my home,
Mm-hmm.
$3.64.
Ah.
So I'm like, ooh, you were
There's-
down to like $3.20 something.
Yep, we were doing good. We were doing better. $3.79. Well,
It is what it
we got
is.
some stories coming up a little bit later about that with Iran and so on and so forth. But I don't know what it is. I guess it's because finally, World Cup fever has what am I trying
Kinda
to say?
risen?
It's
Taken
not
off?
risen. It's
It's
gone the
over?
other way. Yes,
Yes.
it has now ebbed.
Ebbed.
Right.
Okay,
That's it.
there's
It's
a good
done.
word.
I think now that it is finally fading away, I can stop and take a good long look at really this summer of World Cup. 78 matches in the United States of America.
Pretty impressive.
78.
Do you know how much money we made on that whole deal?
I'm thinking it was quite a bit.
$15 billion.
$1 billion.
15
billion.
billion
Very nice.
was what was brought in.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty sweet.
That's not bad at all.
And
Not
Trump's trying to get
bad
the
at all.
the World Cup tournament to come back
Sure.
quickly.
Yeah. He's
but-
like, let's do it again.
Yeah. How about can we do this next year? No,
yeah.
it doesn't work that way.
No. It's every 4 years, my friend.
Right.
We probably
I think he
won't
said
see it for
2038 is what
something like that.
I think so.
I don't know. I'll take it. If he can make that work, that would be great. I do believe that we have got to tip our hats to the people that were responsible for putting this together.
Mhm.
The liaison was Andrew Giuliani. Remember when Rudy Giuliani got sworn in as mayor and his little son was there aping and mocking and doing all kinds of goofy stuff for the camera? That's the guy who was the liaison between the government and the World Cup this year. And he did an absolutely stellar job. Look at the coordination that had to come into play to
Oh.
make 78 of these things work, get all the fields ready, make sure that everybody was able to get into and out of these stadiums relatively quickly while also being incredibly secure. And everybody, I mean, there were zero complaints. You didn't hear anybody talking about how, well, this was a nightmare and this was poorly and this could have been planned better and blah, blah, blah. None of that took place. Everybody seemed to be having a great time. Everything went smoothly. And folks, the reason I say we ought to tip our cap to this is because when things go well, when the plane lands at the airport properly and everyone gets off safely, that doesn't make news,
No, it doesn't. But you're grateful you got there safely.
yeah.
I always thank the captain.
Had
Thank
there,
you.
Had there been a drone attack or had there been some nightmare or even something as bad as just a poorly coordinated effort at some of these stadiums and people ended up standing outside in the heat for hours trying to get in and they couldn't get, and there would be complaints and you'd be hearing a lot of that stuff. That did not happen. And so you're not hearing anything about it, which is my point. This was an incredibly well-coordinated, massive event. This was 78 separate and distinct Super Bowls
yeah.
that took place in the United States of America over 5 weeks.
Yeah, and apparently we only had one, the FBI, and they investigated a person that was going to use a vehicle to do damage at one of these arenas. I
Yeah.
don't know which one, but I think that's the
It was
only
like a fan fest thing
they
they were going
stopped.
to attack.
And they stopped it like way
Before it
ahead,
ever
like
even got started.
not even. But because they had that intel, they were able to do that. So, and I mentioned it yesterday. Just kudos to law enforcement and our FBI and everyone else that was involved to make sure that folks were secure in all of these stadiums. And this was this was a massive undertaking.
Massive undertaking.
Yeah.
The Fox, by the way, did a fantastic job on the televising of these matches. I watched several of them. Obviously, I watched everything America was in. I saw the Netherlands and I'm sorry, it was Norway and England. I watched that one. I watched France and Spain, and then the big finale, of course, with Spain winning 1-0. 1-0, excuse me. I got to use the soccer part. I don't have to care about soccer again for 4 years.
No, you
Actually,
don't.
that's not true. I do have to care next year because Women's World Cup. I don't know where that's taking place, but we could get that.
Brazil.
Brazil.
We sure
Okay.
could.
Mm.
Well, I think too you're going to see a huge spike with a lot of families that maybe have young kids that want to start, getting into soccer, or maybe they're young enough that it's like a little league soccer
Sure.
get together, because there's plenty of families that are already doing that. But I think now, because this has happened here, there may be a new explosion
Sure.
in the U.S. of it.
I do believe that we got the World Cup. See, when we did this in '94, I don't remember it being this big a deal.
I don't either.
I really don't remember it.
Or maybe
It's
we didn't make it a big deal.
Yeah.
But Donald Trump has helped with that, because he's like, it's going to be huge. It's going to be huge.
huge. It's gonna be
So we were like, okay,
fantastic,
let's see how
amazing.
huge it's going to be.
'94. That'd be Bill Clinton, right? He was president at the time, and I guess a bunch of World Cup matches took place across the United States. I have no recollection of it whatsoever. This year's was massive. It was a huge undertaking. It went very, very smoothly. It gave us a chance to introduce the United States to a world that has been fed misinformation about us for decades, really. I mean, people in England, people in Norway, people in Spain, people in France, people from all over Europe have been misinformed about the United States of America. They get over here and they're like, it's really clean
You
and
know-
the people are really nice and everyone doesn't have a gun. Like, what the hell?
The other thing that may have helped was social media, because during the Clinton years, we didn't really,
That's true.
we weren't to the level where we are now.
No.
So you've got, hundreds of thousands of people with cameras going around the U.S. talking about their experience. We had the influencer. What was his name? Freddie.
Yeah.
I mean, just Freddie alone helped across the world for this thing to blow up and take off. And I think social media helped a whole lot with
I would
this.
agree. I agree with you wholeheartedly. But I just think we owe a debt of gratitude to all the people that worked very hard to make this work, to pull it off, to do it without a hitch. $15 billion in investment in the United States in economic activity as a result of this. And it went so smoothly that it is difficult to imagine that we don't get another World Cup relatively soon.
I think they would want it here. Yeah.
You take the World Cup, you take the 250th birthday of the United States of America, and, you put Donald Trump in charge of the whole thing, and you're going to have a pretty good summer.
Yep, you sure
Aside
will.
from the fact that it's really, really hot.
Uh-huh.
Alabama Tree Pros, 308-4158. When you got a tree that needs taking down, these are the guys that you really need to get in touch with. Whether it's to trim it up or to, take it down to where you're grinding the stump into the ground, they can do that, or they can save the tree in some cases. I'm not going to tell you they can save every tree. But if they come out and they say, you know what, this isn't in that bad a shape, here's what I'm going to tell you to do, X, Y, and Z, and then you do it because they know what they're talking about. And that's probably going to be the least expensive option for you. On the other hand, if you need to trim it, if you need to take it down, you're still going to be paying less to Alabama Tree Pros than you would any other tree service. 308-4158, alabamatreepros.com online. They are the best, and they are the only ones that are allowed to touch my trees at the Dixon Mansion, alabamatreepros.com. It sounds like Toto.
So Richard Marx?
It is Toto, or it's Richard Marx? It's Richard Marx. Okay, gotcha.
Kind of hate I know that.
6:20.
I was like, darn.
Dixon Dividing Talk 995, Talk995.com. Download our app. Carry us with you everywhere you go and listen nonstop all the time. You're not allowed to stop. If
Yeah,
you
that
ever
would be
quit,
great.
it's like when you're petting a dog and you stop and then they put their paw on you and they drag you.
They're like,
you know,
please
that's
pet me
what-
some more.
Yeah, you're not allowed to
Don't
stop
go
listening. You have
away.
to keep listening. We'll track you down.
That's how it is.
We'll find you.
Yeah, we will find you. Hey, speaking of finding things, water can find its way sometimes into your home, and Be Dry is like, hey, folks, that's not normal. If you believe that water in your crawl space or in your basement, you see that you've got an issue and you think it's normal because you've been dealing with it for years, don't. It's not normal. Let Be Dry Foundation and Waterproofing come out and assist you with fixing this. Home of the lifetime warranty, and for a limited time, 25% off encapsulation. Folks, take advantage of that. Talk to David Feven and the guys at Be Dry here locally. 942-1976 is the number to call for that free quote. You can look them up at BeDryAlabama.com. But deal with a company like Be Dry. I believe in what David does and what Be Dry can do for you. 65 years in the business. They've got budget-friendly solutions for you, and you're going to be dealing with a local company. Love, love, love what Be Dry does. And also think about this, too, because this is another issue, cracking in the foundation. You start seeing that, there's something that's causing the shifting, and a lot of times it can be water-related. But let Be Dry come out, take a look around your home, see what's going on, and give you that free quote, and then set up a time to resolve the issue that's going on at your home. 205-942-1976, or go to BeDryAlabama.com.
And now, it's Dixon and Vining's top 3 things you need to know.
Well, a man that started a fire outside a federal building in New York City has been arrested. 43-year-old Andrew Arabica went to 26 Federal Plaza, poured gasoline outside the building, lit it on fire, and shot a pellet gun. He was tackled by law enforcement and taken into custody seconds later. Investigators say that he made an anti-government and anti-ICE statements. He didn't care if he killed people, is what he said. One person was injured, and in that incident, they are expected to make a full recovery. Arabica was wearing a military-style helmet, hauling a cart with a sign about ICE that was negative. He was also in possession of 2 axes, 3 knives, a hammer, and a machete. He served in the Army from 2001 to 2007 and repaired Patriot missile systems. Man, oh man, also apparently in his possession was 2 pellet guns and a manifesto. So they have a pretty clear picture about what this guy is all about. But I'm like, what are we dealing with here? It's got to be some mental illness.
You're dealing with a guy who really very, very badly wanted to go to jail. That's what you're dealing with.
That's what it sounds like.
You look at this guy, and he poured, they think gasoline, but they're not sure, on the ground, set it on fire. Actually set his own foot on fire while he was doing it, so there's a genius. Mm-hmm. He's got his manifesto, he's got his airsoft pellet gun, and his big statement is, I don't care if I kill someone. You're not going to kill anyone. You got an airsoft gun and some gasoline. You're doing a terrible job of this. You're going away. You're going to go away for a long time because you attacked a federal building. That's federal charges, okay? And, your big statement, I have a problem with ICE. ICE is terrible. Okay. All right. Yeah. Get in line. Okay. I mean, what a joker.
Yeah. And again, thank goodness that this fire didn't spread further, or there were other people injured, or there was a lot of people walking on those sidewalks near where the fire started. Again, that part is a blessing, and way to go to law enforcement to tackle this guy seconds later and be able to take him into custody.
Yeah.
Good job. Hey, conservatives in the Senate are talking about tying President Trump's election integrity agenda to a government funding bill, which could determine the Democrats whether Congress avoids a shutdown before the funding deadline of September 30th. Now, there are several Republicans that argue the legislation is far too important to not try and get it done. Some say they will support the proposal if it can pass. Now, in Trump's speech to the nation last week, he expressed the importance of passing the Save America Act, arguing that we need stronger election safeguards. No doubt we do. This would require, of course, proof of citizenship to register to vote in federal elections, and would require voter ID, something I think most Americans would believe that this is the best way to have safe and secure elections. And again, here we have the left, Democrats once again, pushing against this, and it might be a problem come September 30th.
It's an 80-20 deal. 80% of Americans, including 70% of Democrats, are in favor of voter ID, not necessarily the SAVE Act in general. You would pretty much have to figure out what you were going to do about mail-in voting, and if you're going to be serious about that. Considering I think Washington State does all their voting by mail, I don't know that you can ever get them, rein them in, or get them with the program, This thing would automatically, by the way, be challenged in court because the states would say, like, whoa, we're in charge of elections. We decide how our elections are going to run. And you would immediately find an activist judge who'd be like, yep, injunction time. And then you'd have to take this thing all the way up to the Supreme Court, and they're not even in session right now. They won't be until October. So, I'm not sure. This thing really should have been passed much, much earlier. They should have gotten this done earlier in the because, if you get Democrats in charge in the Senate, it's a real possibility that they're going to take over the House. You're never going to get this thing passed. It's never going to pass. No. And I would venture to say that if you do get the SAVE Act passed and you get it passed the way it's supposed to be, the proving your citizenship to register, having to have a voter ID when you vote, only getting mail-in ballots under very certain circumstances. You're in the military. You're out of town on business.
The way that it used to be.
Exactly.
Let's go back to the old school way because it worked pretty well.
If you are able to pull that off, I would say you have just made it 60% harder for Democrats to win elections.
Mm-hmm. And that is because Democrats want to cheat. They're looking for ways to cheat. Otherwise, you would be all in on this. There is no room for any other answer in that you don't want there to be safe elections.
Just found out yesterday in L.A. County, 144% of the of people that are eligible to vote are registered to vote. 144%.
Oh, really?
Isn't that amazing?
That is.
Yeah.
How do you do that?
I don't know.
Come on, that's impressive.
San Diego County is like 138%
oh, that's good.
of eligible voters are registered to vote. And you're like, wow, okay, something needs to be done here.
Sure does. All right, Tropical Storm Bertha has formed in the Gulf of America and is moving west-northwest at about 3 miles per hour. The storm is off the coast of Panama City and may turn due west about the time it nears Gulf Shores, Fort Morgan, Dauphin Island, those areas, clipping parts of Mississippi, New Orleans, and then beelining for Houston, Texas. Now, here are the issues: storm surge, squalls, wind, and rain that are going to be the big problems with Bertha. Winds expected around 50 miles per hour off the coast of Alabama. Then Wednesday around 1 p.m., it'll be around New Orleans, still winds at 50. And then Friday morning, winds start to decrease just a little bit down to about 40 miles per hour as it moves into Texas. But that entire coastline is going to have to deal with some type of surge. Again, National Hurricane Service has not considered that this will turn into any kind of hurricane. It's too close to shore. It doesn't have enough time to get to strengthen even further. So that part is good because we don't need a hurricane. But at the same time, it probably will cause a bit of a mess along the coastline of all of these states that are going to have to deal with it.
Absolutely. You can assume that Dauphin Island will be underwater by this time tomorrow.
Could be.
Or certainly by Wednesday. That is tomorrow. Okay, yeah. We've seen what happens with New Orleans when you dump a lot of rain on them. So hopefully the levees hold. But it's going to be a storm right up until about 1 a.m. Thursday morning, and then it becomes a depression. It gets depressed.
Well, let's hope it gets depressed.
Yeah.
We don't need much of Bertha. Bertha, hurry up, move along. Don't do too much damage.
I stayed at my beach house during Tropical Storm Michael, only because I didn't know it was coming.
How'd you like it? How was Michael?
It was not a lot of fun.
No?
Not a lot of fun, yeah. I mean, you're up there on those posts and
you're swaying a little bit.
Moving,
I've been in, if you've ever been in a house that's built like that over toward the beach and you just get a severe thunderstorm with a little bit of wind, you're like, holy smokes, could you imagine being in this in a tropical storm or a hurricane?
Yeah, boy.
Oh, no. I'm not doing that.
The good news is there's as much below the ground as there is above the ground when it comes to those poles, so you'll be okay.
It still doesn't. It's not comforting at all, Richard.
6:30, Dixon and Vining, Talk 99.5. That'd be the other song.
They sound very similar.
Yep. Kind of like Never Gonna Give You Up written sideways, you know? 636, Dixon and Vining, Talk 995, talk995.com. Let's talk about Mr. Bugs and how they can get the bugs out of your house, whether you're talking about a termite bonding situation. There are some guys out there who play fast and loose. You know, I moved into my house in September of 2020, and the termite bond was supposed to be good until the following July. And they hit me up like almost immediately within a couple of weeks of moving into my house. And they said, hey, you need to re-up the termite bond. I said, no, I don't. It's good until July. I've got the paperwork here in front of me. It all came as part of the housing purchase. And they said, no. That's wrong. We're right. You have to pay us this money. And I said, if I'm going to get a termite bond, it's going to be with somebody who's not playing fast and loose. And I said, you can go ahead and just cancel this now. And I, of course, called Mr. Bugs. And they came out and they took care of me. They put in the Centricon system, which I really love. And they charged me a very reasonable fee. More importantly, they didn't try to rip me off. They never have tried to rip me off. Whether it's termite bonding or it's mosquito reduction or pest control or small rodent control, you can count on Mr. Bugs to treat you right every step of the way. Plus, I love the fact that they are able to combine everything, give me a bundle price, and it's one low monthly rate. Mr. Bugs, MRBUGGS.com, statewide at 844-MRBUGGS. They know what bugs you. Okay, so Taylor Farms supposedly, they said it was a false positive when it came to the testing of that particular lettuce, but the FDA is still focused on them for some reason. So they must know something has found its way out of Taylor Farms into. And Taylor Farms, by the way, is more than one farm. That's why there's an S on the end of it. Mm-hmm. They have some farms in Mexico. Mm-hmm. They have some farms in California, or as Arnold says, California. And it could be from any of those farms and or none of those farms. Some of the farms, they may have tested something that came from one of the farms that was fine. And then they were like, yeah, but you have 6 other farms, and we think that's one of those is responsible. Heard a guy talking about it this morning and said, you can't really wash this stuff off.
No, you have to cook it.
Yeah.
150 degrees.
I don't want to cook my salad.
No, you don't.
Who wants
It was actually, I think it was Dr. Robert Redford. He's the former CDC director. Of course, very, very knowledgeable about this parasite.
I loved
and
him
that's
in
what
Bush
he said.
Cassidy and the Sundance Kid,
You
too.
can,
He was fantastic.
You can, you can rinse the lettuce as much as you want. You can put it in a salad spinner and spin it, and it's a parasite. It's not. You can't get rid of the parasite. The only way you can get rid of it is to cook whatever vegetable it is at 150 degrees. Well, I don't think we're doing that with regular lettuce.
I'm not doing it with lettuce. Absolutely not.
And they said really the only alternative is to stay away from it.
Yeah.
If you don't want to get ill.
Another frightening thing is that I remember early on from this conversation that it takes as many as 14 days before it actually affects you.
Yeah.
So like you could eat the
right
lettuce
away.
and 2 weeks later, and you're thinking, what did I eat yesterday that's causing this? Well, you didn't. It was 2 weeks ago. Mm-hmm. The parasite got into your body, and now it's causing these problems. It can last 2 days. It can last 31 days. We don't know.
Yeah.
And it does, in fact, hospitalize some people.
Well, and that's when, you start getting into real trouble. If it's been a couple of days and it's not getting better, and now there are some other things that are appearing that isn't normal, you go to the hospital, you go to the doctor, and you need treatment. Antibiotics and maybe even more than that because now you're probably dehydrated. So don't play around. What are we going to call it now? What's the race car driver that passed away?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm like, no, don't think that you're going to push your way through this.
Kyle Busch, and it's such a guy thing, by the
way. I get it. It's like, take it seriously. Our bodies are what they are, and if they're screaming and yelling, I'm in pain and this isn't clearing up, stop.
I became friends several years ago with a guy on Facebook. His name is Rick Anthony. Was a disc jockey. He actually retired. I'm like, You retired on radio money? Oh, good
You're
job.
doing pretty good.
Well done, I
Yeah.
say. But he just posted about how he has been laid up for a couple of days, and he had to go to the doctor and get antibiotics. Everyone's like, antibiotics? What's wrong? It's just food poisoning. And he's like, no, you don't understand. This is what this is. Anyway, the antibiotics worked so well, he was able to go to the Rush show like not even 36 hours later.
Yeah.
He was able to make. So, they can fix you. It can be done. You can get yourself back on the horse. But for the love of God, don't treat this like people die from this. I know nobody's died yet, but dehydration is a very serious thing.
It sure can. And when your body's going through that, you're losing a lot of liquids.
When it kicks everything you handed out. And, of course, you don't want to put anything in your body because you are tired of it coming back out again, and you don't like the way it comes out, and you're miserable, but you've got to keep, like, the Pedialyte coming or whatever, the Gatorade, the
Something.
Powerade, pump something into your body that is going to get you where you need to be because, wow, this stuff could be very, very serious. But like I said, I'm just making it easy. I'm not eating salad. I'm not eating lettuce.
Well,
I'm not eating anything.
Even, it's concerning that they really don't have a definitive on this yet.
Yes.
And that's why Dr. Robert Redford was like, might be best to avoid it because they're still doing testing at Taylor Farms. And now they're maybe looking a little outside of that because of this, false positive. And it's like, okay, so what is it? And, it may be toward the end of the summer where we begin to see this because apparently all this begins to subside in the next, 4 to 6 weeks. But if you really want to make sure that you don't get any of this, then don't eat anything with lettuce right now.
Stay away from the poop lettuce. Unless, of course, you know that it was grown locally here. If you go to a farmer's market and, you're dealing with Pepe and he's like, I grew this in my own
Yeah, I
fields,
grew it in the backyard. This is safe. It's Alabama lettuce.
Yes.
Then you're probably okay.
You're probably going to be okay. Look up Little Leaf brand lettuce available at Walmart. Fox did a great story on their brand this morning. Good stuff, says Bruce. Okay. Little Leaf brand lettuce, probably safe. I don't buy the bags of salad anymore. I used to, but they're really just expensive, and it's much easier for me. A head of lettuce lasts a lot longer, but of course, right now I'm not buying any of it. But I can buy a head of lettuce, and I can make my own salad with a handful of things, and it all stuff that I want and nothing I don't. Like, I don't like the carrot shavings they put in there.
No, but there are also the tins, the
Yeah.
plastic tins, and I sometimes get those, and it has some of the mixed greens in it, some of the red lettuce and things like that in it. They have the spinach ones and things like that. Haven't heard a lot about that, but they keep talking about the Taylor Farms bagged lettuce. So it's like, so they've apparently pulled everything from the shelves during the dates that the issue was, but until we hear from the CDC and others that they have a definitive on where it came from and the actual dates, and they're sure of that, maybe you just say, okay.
I'm going
to an Alabama farmer to get
I'm going to go one step
lettuce.
further than that. I'm never eating lettuce again. That's it. No kind of lettuce. I'm not eating arugula.
Nothing,
I'm not
huh?
eating romaine. I'm not eating iceberg. I'm not eating any kind of lettuce ever again for as long as I live. I'm just super cautious is what I am.
I guess that would do it, Richard.
Ice cream does not do this to
No.
you. Wait, remember wasn't there like a listeria outbreak or something with ice cream?
Be careful with that.
And then, of course, there were the people who were opening up the containers and licking and filming it and putting it on YouTube. And you're like, what are you doing?
Being a jerk.
Stop licking people's ice cream. That is
Unless you're going to buy it.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah.
Don't
if
be
you're gonna-
licking it.
Obviously, if you're going to buy it, you can lick it all you want. But
Just maybe another reason they need to put a better seal on the ice cream.
same way it works with prostitutes, by the way. Anthony and Company Jewelers, 2080 Valleydale Road, next to Ragtime Cafe. This is who you want to talk to when it comes to getting a fine piece of jewelry to celebrate your anniversary. Who you want to talk to when it comes to getting a fine piece of jewelry to celebrate a birthday or any special occasion that is coming up. Maybe you've got somebody going off to college and she needs, I don't know, a strand of pearls to complete the experience. I don't know. I can tell you they've got it all right there. They have got some fantastic precious metals, amazing gemstones. They can put them together any way you see fit. Or they can actually design something from scratch for you if that's what you want. And if you got a special anniversary coming up, one that ends in a 0 or a 5, I would strongly suggest doing this, getting that specially designed, made something from Anthony and Company Jewelers. It's a real game changer, and it will open her eyes, or his, as the case may be. They have fabulous jewelry for men and high-end watches as well. Anthony and Company Jewelers, prices so low they can't afford to have a sale. 2080 Valladale Road next to Ragtime Cafe. Rick James, 651. Dixon Inviting, Talk 95, talk995.com. Thanks very much for hanging out with us. We enjoy having you here. Talk 99.5. Steve's looking at me strangely like, did he just say Talk 95? Yes, I did. I was abbreviating.
Oh, it's one of those mornings.
It
You know,
is, isn't
Tuesday
it?
has no feel.
Is that what it is?
And that's when we're like,
Tuesday has zero
it's
feel.
like,
This is where we are.
Yeah.
The White House is asking the head of the Federal Communications Commission and Representative Buddy Carter from Georgia, Republican from Georgia, also jumping on board with us, asking them to review ABC, NBC, and CBS's broadcast decisions after the networks either declined to air live or cut away from President Donald Trump's July 16th primetime address. This is the one on election integrity. In a letter first obtained by Fox News Digital and sent Monday, Carter asked FCC Chairman Brendan Carr to review whether the networks violated their obligation to serve the public interest and whether their actions should be considered in future broadcast license proceedings. It is rather interesting how you go about getting a broadcasting license. We, of course, have some experience with that here. You have got to serve the public interest. There are so many minutes per hour of public interest programming you have to do. News counts, weather counts, traffic counts. This falderall nonsense that I'm spewing right now does not, actually. But, we also have public affairs programs and things of that nature, which we throw on the weekend, bury them at 5:30 in the morning so no one has to listen to them. But
Actually, we got them in a little better prime time.
We really do, actually, yeah. And all of that goes into the public file, which the FCC reviews occasionally to make sure that we're keeping up with our, commitment to the public interest. A case could be made that CBS, CBS is doing better now, but certainly ABC and NBC. Oof.
And CNN.
But
But they're
CNN's
kind of,
cable.
they're cable, yeah.
CNN's cable. They don't have to worry about an FCC license.
But they were a part of the other night, not showing it,
Right.
so it is interesting. But
you
yeah,
are
the other two.
given something that is very precious. That is the public airwaves. You are being handed the public airwaves, and as Donald Trump pointed out, they pay nothing for that. They pay absolutely nothing for that license. All they have to do is promise to be good stewards. I can't help but find it interesting that, once you get them, ABC, NBC, CBS, Fox, you hold on to them. You just keep getting them renewed and renewed and renewed, and nobody ever goes, hey, wait a minute. How about we give somebody else a turn here? Why don't we move you guys out of the way and go? Now, I mean, Fox actually started from the ground up. I remember when there was no Fox network. You probably do too.
Yeah, I do.
I mean, I remember some of their early programming, some classic shows like Beans Baxter, Mr. President. No?
Yeah,
Yeah.
how many years ago was that?
I don't remember when they
When
formed.
did they
I
start?
think it was in the 1980s. I want to say it was the 1980s.
The Fox network itself?
Fox network, yeah.
Yeah, it was in the 80s.
Married with Children was one that actually broke out and made it. That actually was one of the first shows that still hung in there, and my God, people are still watching reruns of that thing today. But, getting a network started from the ground up, I was watching, oh my gosh, I was watching Back to the Future last night. I really don't care how many times that movie gets shown on network or cable TV. If I see it, I'm probably going to stop and watch it because to me,
That tells you nothing else is on network TV.
oh, I disagree.
There's nothing on. He's watching Back to the Future.
Back to the Future
How many
is
times have you seen that?
100 easily. It's an almost perfect movie.
Oh, man.
It's an almost perfect movie. If you think about it, the way Zemeckis did this, man, everything that happens within the first 30 minutes is paid off in the following 90 minutes. Everything. The clock tower situation, even the guitar and the clocks on Doc's wall and everything.
It's well done.
It all
Yeah.
pays off. It's so beautifully interconnected and so well made. And Michael J. Fox was just the right guy for that role, which is why they stopped filming halfway through and they fired Eric Stoltz and said, we're going to bring Michael J. Fox in. He's the right guy. We're going to have to work around family ties, but we'll make it happen. But I was kicking that around last night, and then Back to the Future 2 comes on, and there was a copy of USA Today, and I was like,
that's funny.
I forgot about USA Today.
It was always those two papers.
Yeah.
You'd pick up the Birmingham News and the USA Today.
And there's, of course, I don't think they even do a printed version of it anymore. I
Yeah.
don't know. I certainly haven't looked for it.
You know, there is a section, and I noticed it the other day. I was in Publix. I was like, newspapers.
Really,
Yeah, I couldn't believe it.
real newspapers.
Real newspapers like the New York Times, and I guess there was a couple of others in there. I don't know what. Next time I'll stop and really look.
All right.
It was a Sunday, and there was a
Sure.
elderly couple that picked one up, and I
Well-
was like, "Oh, really? I
Yeah.
didn't even know those were there."
You have to line the birdcage with something.
I don't know. You got to
I
clean the
understand.
windows with
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
As they
A lot of people use
Wrap
newspaper.
the
From
fish.
what I can find, USA Today is still actively published in
Wow,
print.
isn't
It's
that,
the
it might be
fourth-
over there.
Fourth largest print circulation in the U.S.
All righty.
Y'all check it out next time you're in a store. Just see if you can find it. Whether it's like a CVS or Walgreens or a
I've never
grocery
seen one.
store. I'll look next time. Take a picture.
I can say this. When they started, they said, we're not going to make money for 10 years, and we know that. We're going to lose money for 10 years, and we're prepared for that, and then we expect to be profitable in year 11, and then we'll kind of get the money back, and by year 20, we'll be, blowing and going. And that's exactly what happened, and I think Fox Network was the same way. So you can start a network from the ground up if you want to. But again, how is it possible that CBS, NBC, and ABC, year in and year out, keep getting their licenses renewed, and nobody even really questions it? And so here we have a president who's willing to do things a little bit differently. He's willing to say, well, maybe we should take a look at this. Maybe they're not acting in the public interest. Not carrying my speech was not okay. This is something that is in the public interest, and people needed to know it, and it was their duty to carry it, and they chose not to do so. That's not cool. Not cool, man. Now, is it going to lead to them not getting their license renewed? If anything should lead to ABC not getting their license renewed, that would be The View.
Thank you. Yeah, you're exactly right. Well, too, how laid out is it that they have to carry speech from the president? And I understand what you're saying, that it's in the public interest, but they may say, well, we're running all these other things that are of public interest, and we just made a decision not to run that. It's
Yeah.
not like we're not running anything of public interest.
Yeah.
And that may be the argument. Until you lay out exactly what it is, maybe it has to be cut and dry, black and white. If the president speaks, it's in the public interest, and you must carry this. Or do these affiliates, do these networks have some discretion?
Well, obviously, they have discretion.
Yeah, and would the president's speech be one of those things where they have the discretion to say no?
Well, they used it this time.
Yeah.
But they basically carried every utterance that Joe Biden ever said, or everything Barack Obama ever said. I don't remember Barack Obama ever giving an earth-shattering speech except for "We got Osama bin Laden." That was it. That was the big one from him. But I can't remember another one that he ever made that was just so like, whoa, wow, look at how great he's doing and what. This was. Donald Trump laid out some very factual stuff. We have documents that show that China wanted to mess with our elections in 2016, 2020, and 2024, and they had the means to do it. And it's time for us to change to make sure that this doesn't happen. That's kind of important information having to do with our elections and our election integrity. And for them to say, nah, because it's Trump, we don't feel like doing it. I don't think you get to make that call.
Well, I guess the FCC will make that ruling.
I guess they will. They might just give him a little warning, slap on the hand.
They don't do that again. Next time he talks, air it.
Better.